radio, television as well, and he also serves on board the Media Literacy Council as a member. All right, so let's give a warm round of applause, and I would like to invite Daddy Blogger Edmund.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so heartened to see so many of you gathered here today, so many parents among us, and I'm so glad to see everyone here taking the afternoon off. Just to reintroduce myself, my name is Edmund Tay. I'm one of the members of the Media Literacy Council. I don't write a parenting blog full-time. I work with youths and adults and families. It's my full-time job. But at night, when the sky gets dark and when all the kids go to sleep, that's when I take out my PC and I start writing and chronicling all the adventures that I have with my kids. And that's how this parenting blog came about. If you ask me whether did I think about doing this when I was much younger, no, all right? I didn't even know, back then there was not even the existence of the internet, never the existence of Instagram, all right? So this is not one of my lifelong dreams. But as landscape changes, I change, and that's how I adapted. And we must understand that as parents as well, everything changes when we become a parent. I'm sure, all you agree with me that our life turned upside down when we became a parent. This is me, this is my family. As EJ introduced me earlier, I have 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy, 10, 8, and 7. All right, and basically they are the love of my life. So back about me, all right. Let me tell you, as a parent, I think that the landscape has changed a lot. When I first started being a parent, and my kids were young. Sorry, I forgot to ask us. How many of you have just to do a quick snap poll? All right? How many of your kids still in primary school? Wow. How many of you have kids still in secondary school? Oh, wow. So, okay, I understand. Both. So yeah, both types of the spectrum. All right. But just to tell you about my family, when my kids were growing up, I wanted to teach them a lot about the ABCs. All right. I'm sure of you experienced that. And when my daughter was 3 years old, all right, I told her that, okay, her name is Nicole. Nicole, let's write A, B, C, D, all right? A for apple, B for ball, all the way to Z, all right? You tell Daddy what is associated with this letter. So I said A, apple, B, ball. Then she skipped. She said E for email, G for Google, Y for YouTube. Then Mommy looked at her, M for mouse. Mommy's heart broke that day into many, many pieces. But that is how the landscape has changed for us as parents. We must understand that as parents. Pharaoh here was talking about how he is always on WhatsApp. Let me tell you, I am always on WhatsApp. All right? I don't know about you, but to be honest with you, all right, a few decades ago, the last thing that you did before you went to bed was to kiss your wife goodnight. Now what do? You take out your handphone, you clear all your messages, you check your Facebook news stream, all right, and then you go to sleep. Correct? Times have changed. In the same way, we as parents must understand that we are in a changing environment. Parenting, has different challenges as what we faced before. And as parents, we must be willing to adapt, because that is how we're going to change everything in this world. We are part of the Media Literacy Council, and of course, we want to create a healthier and better environment. And that's why we think that we, as parents, have got a big role to play. All right? Okay, so our kids are growing up in a very new environment. If you do not know, 98% of our 7 to 18-year-olds are now constantly online. All right? Survey has shown that we are constantly online. Just as what the survey says, in fact, we as parents as well are also constantly online. With the smartphone, everybody, I'm sure, has been messaging, everybody has been on Facebook. I'm sure all of us have been keeping abreast with many social issues, because what the smartphone has done for us, is brought about us more information. Landscape is changing, all right? And that is why, we all speak a different language. Pharaoh just now mentioned to us, that he's always on WhatsApp. Okay, just I know everyone here is definitely on WhatsApp, correct? But the lingo of today is very much more different, because why? On WhatsApp now, they use acronyms like this. Some of you are looking at each other. What on earth is that? All right? What is POS? What on earth is GNOC? Oh, what on earth is that? All right? And the lingo has changed for everyone already. All right? Last time they used to use laugh out loud, Now I don't think many people use that anymore. Later, it's ASL, BFGF. You see, this is the type of common lingo that is found on the internet or messaging services today. And that shows that what? The language we use has changed. Now there's newer lingo like let me know, will you call me, NGL, not gonna lie, parents in room. Yeah, if you see that on your son's messaging services, you will know that he's talking about you. Right, but these are things that are happening every day now because these are the acronyms that the children are very familiar with. All right, our children are familiar with. And of course, on the dangerous side as well, okay, you can take a look at that. This is some of the acronyms that we are facing right now on the internet sphere. So you see this, you know that your children are in danger, your children might be being stalked. So you must understand that everything is changing in this whole new environment. There's a new norm in the parenting landscape. Previously, when we wanted to find information, what do? We go to the library. Now when I ask my children, kids, what does this mean? How do we go there? They'll say, Daddy, ask Google. Google knows everything. All right? Because why? That is the new norm. Internet brings everything instantaneous. Everything is faster and easier. When I was young, what was my favorite game? Let me tell you, that picture there is my favorite game and watch. All right, I used to play parachute. All right, I used to play all these games when I loved the Atari. Atari was my number one game system when I was young. Pharaoh doesn't know what I'm talking about, but Atari was wonderful. With asteroids and space invaders, it was fantastic. It was the best thing since sliced bread. But of course today, there are other games like Wii, the Xbox, all right? Now everyone has views, when they have views, but traditionally we used to go to newspapers and read opinions, but now where do they go? They go to blogs, they go to forums, and from there they get reviews about stuff as well. And of course, last time we used to hang out at the playground, but the kids of today, what is their playground? Their playground is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all right? And of course, WhatsApp as well. It's a favorite of Pharaoh and many of us here, okay? So, it brings with us many challenges as well. So with all these different challenges that face us, we must understand that the internet has very much a role to play in influencing our children. I have the luxury of having kids in primary school. But even then, they are already facing peer pressure. I just finished the March holidays, correct? And they were asking me, Daddy, where are we going? My friends, they are going to Bali, they're going to Bangkok. Where are we going? I just told them, I think the furthest you go is Sentosa. All right? But, every one of us faces peer pressure. And even at this young age, they are facing this kind of pressures. So the faster we expose them to the internet, the faster the internet has an influence on them. So today, many of their friends, are influencing what they see, what they do. And if you search on the internet, EJ say how the kids, some people, the girls are finding out how to be attractive. So they're finding out what to suck in and what to puff out as well. All right, and these are things that are becoming a great concern, to youth and to young people that are growing up today. So as parents, we got to ask ourselves these questions. Who are their friends? Can everyone read their posts? Will stupid posts come and haunt them later? Pharaoh is very worried about his baby pictures. Maybe I should Google them later in the day. Right? Okay, but these are challenges that we all face. And, we must start asking ourselves, if they have an Instagram account, do they have a Twitter account? Because these are the things that will influence them. As parents in the 21st century, all right, we must understand that we cannot be oblivious to them. We cannot stick our head in the ground and think that does not matter, I don't need to know. We all need to know, and we all need to be able, to relate to them on these platforms as well. Because these are platforms that really speak to them. How many of you heard of the first one, Wild Banana? Any of you heard of Wild Banana? All right. If you have a teenager, I'm sure they heard Wild Banana. Actually, they're quite funny, but some of their jokes are a bit R-rated, so not really age appropriate for primary school kids. So you must understand that the internet itself brings about very different challenges. Because when as a parent, we always want to expose them to age appropriate material. So we must understand that the internet does not take into account these type of factors. It does not take into account who is surfing, who is watching. So as parents, are there safeguards for us? We must understand that, just as there are challenges, there are also preventive measures as well, which we will talk about much more later. all right? And of course, we have games as well. Games offer different challenges, all right? The violent games like Auto Grand Theft, there was Warcraft. All these games, as surveys have shown, do promote a sense of violence if you begin to use it very often. So you must understand that the internet itself does bring challenges, does bring opportunities. Pharaoh says he likes it that the information is at his fingertips, yes, but there's also opportunities and challenges as well. So in a nutshell, all right, we must understand that as parents, we need to understand that we are facing a new paradigm. We cannot be oblivious to it. Our kids' social lives, our kids' lives right now are on the internet, are intertwined with social media platforms. All right, they love Instagram, they love WhatsApp, Line, Snapchat, WeChat, any chat. All right, they just want to chat. All right, and we must understand that these are challenges that we are all facing. But the risks also depend on who they follow, who their friends are, what they share. And we must understand that. I'm so glad that MOE has been really looking into this, and now they have a curriculum to look into how we can be more have a greater awareness of cyber wellness, and how to set up privacy settings. The children have been educated in that, but we as parents must be educated in that as well. I think it's a two-pronged approach, all right? The children may be saying that they're sick and tired of hearing about it, as what you heard from Pharaoh, all right? But sometimes we as parents as well must be aware, because it's not just only them that needs to know, but we need to know as well. All right, so and then we have questions about, can our child deal with criticisms and bullying? These are things that we must ask ourselves, because the internet is really an immense space of opportunity. Now we heard about Spotify. Yeah, I heard of Spotify as well. All right, and if I, let me tell you, when I was growing up, I myself was an internet addict. Not internet, sorry, I was a video game addict. All right, I used to play video games until about 2-3 a.m. in the morning. When I sleep, also I'll think of video games. When I wake up, I'll turn on a PC. First thing I'll do, turn on a PC and I'll play video games. Why? Because this was part of my lifestyle back then. All right, and you must know that if I live in this time as well, I would love Spotify. I would love to know what my friends are hearing, what this so and so is hearing. I would love that, because why? It is a community on its own. All right, but we must understand that as parents, we cannot be unaware. We must know what's going on. Because why? Is part of us being involved in their lives. Right? We must understand that. My kids right now, I love the fact that right now they are 10. Why? Because the world kind of revolves around me. You remember that feeling? Where everything that you do seems to be fantastic. Like, Daddy, you're the best. All right? But I understand as well, because I work with youth, that time will change. And we must understand that right now, I'm sowing the seeds for a better future. So right now, what do? I make aside time to spend time with them. Because later on, we're talking about it. Because at the end of the day, what determines how open they are is the length of time that you spend with them now, when they are young. How much input are you giving into their lives? Because later on, they must be comfortable sharing with you as well. When they become teenagers, they must be comfortable in sharing their lives with you as well. All right, so, the internet brings about different challenges, because when they go to all these type of sites, they bring about viruses and different kind of issues that they face. So we as parents need to be updated. We must teach them as well, the dangers involved. I think communication is very, very important. All right? Our kids practically can find anything online. Anything that they want can be found on the internet. It's not just about cooking an egg. For example, if I buy something new, all right, I get a new dishwasher, I do not know how to use it, I will YouTube it as well. Anything that you practically want can be found on YouTube, all right? And that is why, everyone loves it. But we must understand that there are threats as well, and that is why as parents, we need to be careful about this, all right? We must understand that just now we go back to the issue of age appropriateness. Can our kids evaluate everything critically? Do they know the consequences of what they do? Anything can be a teachable moment. I am like one of those parents that EJ is talking about. I post about everything, all right? I eat lunch, I eat dinner. You know, when when I go to nice places, I take pictures. You know, my mom looks at me, I tell, Mom, wait for a while, I need to take pictures first. Some of you think this is only your kids, but look at me, I'm 40 years old, I still do it. Okay, um, but, but you know, when we do things like that, it's always a teachable moment. Because one day, my son looked at me and asked, my son looked at me, he said, Dad, just on that picture you posted, how many likes was that? Then look at him. Boy, it's not about the likes. You know, I had to use it to be a teachable moment to tell him that our self-esteem does not count for the number of likes. I tell him that, you know, just because not many people like it doesn't mean that my esteem comes from that. Because why? All right, because why? Sorry, I'm a bit distracted by that. All right, because why? You know, just because grandma doesn't see it. People that know that you love have not seen it as well. Grandma may be not on Instagram. You know, Papa may not be on Instagram. But these are people that love you as well. And just because they have not liked it does not mean that they don't love you. So you must understand that any moment in your life can be a teachable moment. But we must see it as an opportunity to teach and not as an opportunity to say, I'll tell you later. All right? So we must understand that these are issues that are real and can be turned around for our benefit. You know, as parents, we must understand that what is the landscape for us today? The young children are very proficient in digital technical skills. Whenever their grandparents face a problem in using their telecommunication devices, I'll tell them, you know, don't worry, your grandchildren will teach you. They are very, very good at it. All right? So, you know, they are young, but they don't know what to believe on the internet, and they may have encountered images that are wrong as well. Do they know how to deal with it? Today we have teens, all right? And when they go on the social media landscape, they may be different, you know, to online dangers, uncertain about privacy and moral issues, lack understanding of consequences, more concerned about popularity and identity. I'm sure all of us are familiar with these issues. But you see, things like these are part of our lives. Because why? We as parents need to play a role. All right? We cannot leave it to anybody else, because these are the lives that we have invested in. All right? And you know, and if we want to really build them up, then these are issues that we must look into, and these are pertinent issues to us. Just like when we were younger, when the kids were younger, what advice did we give them? Oops, sorry. All right? We told them, don't accept sweets from strangers. Eat your vegetables, not the fried food. Don't sit so close to the TV. Do your homework first. Don't play your music so loudly. Obviously, this list came very fast to me. My mother kept on doing this. All right? But, you know, in the real digital world, are we also doing the same thing to help them? Are we guiding them? Are we being watchful? Are we being concerned about things that can be harmful to them as well? You know, we must consider what they share online as well. You know, do we set rules on what can and cannot be done online? Because why? A mistake can be a mistake that is forever. You know, for me, what works in my family is that, you know, I don't really allow my kids, even though I'm such a social media fanatic in that sense. All right, even though I'm always on it. But I tell my kids, you know, one thing I told them: you're not gonna get a handphone, because every day they come about me. Can I have a handphone? Can I have a handphone? On the 6th birthday, can I have a handphone? You know, 8th birthday, can I have a handphone? And what was my reply to them? You have a handphone when you're 21 years old. Obviously, that's a bit far-fetched, isn't it? But my son, he came along and told me, Daddy, actually, I'll get earlier than that. I said, why? Because when I'm in the army, you want to message me, correct? So I get it when I'm 18. Obviously, I understand that I'll not really carry that out. They'll definitely get it earlier. But why do I delay it? Because I think it's an age-appropriate device. I feel that personally for me, I want to deal with that challenge a bit later on in their lives. In the same way, we must understand that the tablets and the handphones that we have, you know, they must have age-appropriate games as well, because not all games are tailored for their age group. Not everything is suitable for every age group. We must build resilient children, because why? Resilient children, you know, are ones that are able, you know, to think, able to know to to be well armed, to stand against the test of time. All right, and I think that we want to build resilient children. All of us need to play a role, and that's why we need to show interest. We need to be able to speak to them. All right, for me, if you have primary school kids, the best category. Why? Because they are the best minds to influence. They're the best people to speak to right now. Right now, you have the best opportunity. You have the golden window where you can really speak into their lives. All right? And even though they may be in secondary school, it's not the end of the road. Why? Because they know that you love them. As long as able to show them love and attention. As long as they know that you care and not there, to bring them down. I'm sure they'll be open, because why? The seeds they have sown in the previous years will always have a bearing in the later years. So we must be interested in them. We must be willing to talk to them about problems. All right, and of course, we must be relaxed and know that if bad things happen, don't freak out. Because why? If you freak out, you know what? They're going to go underground. And as a teenager that grew up underground, I understand why it is to hide things. So that's why we need to be open towards them. We need to make use of teachable moments. Every moment is a teachable moment. My wife lately, she asked me, all right, my daughter is 10, and she asked me to talk to my daughter about sex. I'm like, isn't she a bit young? All right, but these are issues that I had to confront when I became a parent. And these are issues that we should think about. And I'm glad that that right now there's so much literature outside to help you. And we must be prepared for all these tough issues, because as a parent, we must be willing to do these kind of things. All right? We must set rules of engagement, take breaks from the internet, do things offline like sports. Right now, I encourage my kids to do lots of sports, and my kids, I only give them access to the tablets only twice a week, all right? And that's on Saturday and Sunday. And even then, it's only for 2 hours at one time. Because why? I believe that there's a lot more other healthy activities that they can engage in. And because they're so young, I feel that is the best way for them to grow up holistically, all right? And the real world, and we must understand that we need to teach them that they cannot post what they won't say face to face. Because if we want to make the internet a better place, normal norms must happen to be social norms as well. All right? Because that is the most important thing. So as the real world, as we face the real world, we must understand that there's importance placed on values, managing conflicts, and role modeling, because these are very important things, very pertinent to us. Okay, most importantly, as we have a good relationship with our children, with the teens that we face, we are going to build a good platform for parenting. All right, so these are some other help notes that can help you as well. And I'm sure today you heard about Colin's World as well. And that's a great platform to help you as well. So, as parents, my lasting thing, as parents, we must understand that we have a great role to play. No matter how old or how young our children, we can play a part. And as we begin to empathize, as we begin to be involved, as we begin to help out our children, I'm sure we can play a significant role in their upbringing. And I'm sure that as we teach them, we can help them make the internet a better place. With that, I thank you very much.